Greetings to all my friends on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video might be seen and shared. It's Celine Driver once again, coming to you with a different type of video for today. This video is being shot so that I can celebrate with my friends, both old and new, the story of Hanukkah. Even though I'm shooting this right around the Christmas holiday, I am, of course, Jewish. I don't think I've been terribly secretive about my Judaism and my pride in being Jewish. And I wanted to make the video because I realize that a lot of folks may not know what Hanukkah is. But before I do that, I wanted to show off my personal menorah. This is central to the Hanukkah holiday. This menorah is approximately, we don't know exactly how old, but approximately 85 to 90 years old. It belonged to my maternal grandmother, and it passed down to me some years ago. I have cleaned it up recently. It does look very shiny and newish, although you can see there are scratches. There are signs of wear. I mean, after all, it is older than I am by quite a bit. But it is a family piece. This will be, for me, I'm obviously the third generation to have used it. I will pass this down to one of my children. I have another menorah, which I don't use at the moment, which I will pass down to the other child, depending on their feelings. But this is solid brass. It cleans up very easily and cleans up very well, as you can see. And you have the 8 candle holders down below, and up here you have the holder for the helper candle, or in Hebrew, the shamas. And I'm sorry if I do pronounce some Hebrew words wrong when I use them. I'm not the greatest Jewish person in the world, and I'm sure other folks will watch this and say, oh, he butchered that one. Well, forgive me. And the way the Hanukkah candle holder works, and I have some Hanukkah candles here that I picked up. You can get these... I actually picked these up at Bed Bath & Beyond, believe it or not. They're actually a pretty good place to buy Hanukkah candles. You have a candle about this big. I'd say that's, 4 inches long? 5 inches long, something like that. And you place the candles in the holders, very simple, like that. I found out a few years ago that you're actually supposed to go from right to left because Hebrew is read right to left. And you start with the first night, and I'll get to that in a minute. And you start with the 2 candles. You have the shamas candle here, which you light first. You see there. You light that candle first. And then you use the shamas candle to light the other candles like this. And then on the second night, obviously, you have a candle here, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So that's how that works. Now, the Hanukkah story, I'm going to be reading off of something I printed out off of a Jewish website, reformedjudaism.org. I found this one to be, concise, accurate story, but it, didn't go into the extraneous details, as Jack Webb used to say, just the facts, ma'am. According to Jewish custom, Hanukkah is considered, believe it or not, a minor Jewish festival. Although today it does rank fairly high up in true Judaism, it's not considered to be a major holiday like, say, Passover or Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur. Sure, all of you have seen the Passover story before. Yom Kippur is the Day of Atonement, and Rosh Hashanah is, of course, the Jewish New Year. I believe the Jewish calendar right now is in the 5,700 range, over that. Hanukkah, or the Festival of Lights, is actually not mentioned in the Bible. The historical events upon which the celebration is based are recorded in Maccabees 1 and 2, the two books contained within a later collection of writings known as the Apocrypha. That's one of those words I'm going to mispronounce. Apocrypha, Apocrypha. In the year 168 BC, the Syrian king Antiochus Epiphanes sent his soldiers to Jerusalem. The Syrians desecrated the temple, the holiest place for Jews at the time. The Syrians also abolished Judaism, outlawed the observance of the Shabbat and the festivals, as well as circumcision. Go Google circumcision. I'm not getting into that. Altars and idols were set up for the worship of Greek gods, and he offered Jews two options: conversion or death. On the 25th day of the Hebrew month of Kislev in 168 BC, the temple was renamed for the Greek god Zeus. A Jewish resistance movement led by the Maccabees was developed against the cruelty of the Syrians. The head of the family was Mattathias, an elderly man. His son Judah became the chief strategist and military leader of the Maccabees. And though outnumbered, the Maccabees miraculously won two major battles, routing the Syrians. So, the Syrians were routed, and they recaptured the temple, Jerusalem and the temple. Then begins the miracle of the light, where the Festival of Lights comes from, the miracle of the oil. Originally, the 8-day holiday was intended to parallel the 8-day festival of Sukkot. The books of the Maccabees made no mention of the legend concerning a small jar of oil that unexpectedly lasted for 8 days. Only centuries after the Maccabees' defeat of the Syrians did the story of the jar of oil, which has become associated with Hanukkah, appear in the Talmud. According to legend, when the Maccabees entered the temple and began to reclaim it from the Greeks, they immediately relit their eternal light, which burned constantly in the temple and has a parallel in our synagogues of today. In the temple, they found a single jar of consecrated oil, which was sufficient only for 1 day. The messenger who was sent to secure additional consecrated oil took 8 days to complete his mission, and miraculously, the single jar of oil continued to burn until his return. The rabbis of the Talmud attribute the 8 days of Hanukkah to the miracle of this single jar of oil burning. Hence, the 8 candle placements symbolizing each of the days of the miracle of the burning of the consecrated oil while the temple was rebuilt and reclaimed from the Syrians and the Greeks. Now, it was not until modern times that Hanukkah became the Hanukkah that we know now, where gifts are exchanged and it becomes, if you will, forgive the analogy, a Jewish Christmas. This was started mostly by North American Jews in the 1920s and has become tradition since then. So we're looking at nearly 100 years of that tradition started by North American Jews. And that's where the gift-giving exchange is. My kids loved being kids back in the day because their mom is not Jewish. I am Jewish, so they would they would clean up. They'd get Hanukkah gifts, and they would also get the Christmas gifts. So my kids benefited wonderfully from it. But this is just my way of going over what Hanukkah is for my friends out there in the internet world that may not know exactly what Hanukkah is, and my way of beginning the celebration of Hanukkah for this. While I'm shooting this video, it's 2019, and Hanukkah will be beginning as I make this video. So I wanted to mark the occasion for the first time by making a video that I hope will be helpful to other folks. And also, in a way, to show off what I consider to be a beautiful family treasure. It's not made out of a precious metal or adorned with anything of great monetary value. But I remember as a child when my grandma would break this out before Hanukkah, and she would sit there at the kitchen table like I do now and take this apart, and you can see it comes apart with conventional screws, and she would polish it and clean off the old wax from the previous year, and polish it and clean it up and get it ready for the coming Hanukkah celebration, which is why I'm wearing white gloves for this, because I don't want to get any fingerprints on it. I want it to be pristine and ready for Hanukkah 2019. And I miss my grandma. It's been about 27 years since she passed away. And she was a great lady, and I learned a lot from her. I wish I had learned to speak Ukrainian from her, but alas, I was not very good at scholastic things. And there's so many things that I wish I had learned from her and my other grandma, my Nana, my paternal grandma was Nana, and my maternal grandma was Grandma. And there were so many things I wish I had learned from my grandparents that I never did. So another message to you folks is learn from your family members, because you never know when that opportunity is going to disappear. But I still have something to remember her by, and every time I light my Hanukkah lights, I think of my grandparents, and I miss them. But anyway, I want to wish all my friends during this holiday season, of course, Merry Christmas, because I know the majority of you are Christian or Catholic or celebrate Christmas, and I can actually say Merry Christmas without bursting into flames. And to all my fellow Jews out there, I wish, of course, to the happiest of Hanukkah with family and friends for both holidays. And I will be seeing you, hopefully, back to making watch videos very soon. Have a good day.